Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today we're looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Starships Select Resistance X-Wing Fighter, released in 2023. It's number 13 in the collection, and it was first seen in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now for those who don't know, this is a T-70 X-Wing. It's an upgraded version of the T-65 X-Wing we see in the original trilogy, you know, the one Luke Skywalker pilots most of the time. This ship is captained by Poe Dameron, and the ship's actually referred to a lot as Poe Dameron's X-Wing. He is the leader of Black Squadron, given his ship the call sign Black One or Black Leader, which is pretty cool. So some people out there might be wondering, why did Poe Dameron paint his ship this dark color scheme? Simple answer, it isn't just to look cool, which it does, it's actually filled with sensor scattering particles, so that way when an enemy vessel, no matter what it is, tries to track or lock on with, say, missiles or even lasers, it's gonna have a much harder time to do it, which is awesome. Why don't all ships have this paint? Oh boy, so anyway, this is a very nice looking vessel. The paint looks very crisp from what I've seen so far. We have moving parts, the details look exquisite. So you know what, enough of me yapping, let's get right to it. But first, the size. We're looking at about just under 4 inches or 10 centimeters long, which is very nice. And we'll have some size comparisons later on in the video, comparing it to some other Starships Select vehicles, and some other surprises. So if you're new to my channel, what I'd like to do is go over the mold, we'll go over all the key parts, zoom in, show everybody at home the fine details, you know, what we're really paying for. Then we'll look at the paint, put it on a stand, compare it to some other pieces, and then we'll be done. So let's get started. Alright, just like in all my videos, we'll go over all the major sections of the ship, and then we'll get a close-up look to see those fine details. So for the major points, we have our nose cone, cockpit or canopy, an astromech in the back. I believe this is supposed to be BB-8. On the sides, we have our torpedo launchers or missile launchers. There's one located here, and one located on the other side, which is pretty cool. We have our intakes for the engines, our thrusters in the aft, which look very nice. We have our S-foils. This is the mechanism that makes the wings open up. And yes, they do open up. We'll look at them in just a few. We have our wing sections. And then our 4 laser cannons, which are nicely detailed. I do have to say, I love they put the little crescent in there. Nice touch. Now the wings, like I mentioned, do open up. So let's take a quick look at that. Alright, let's take a look at these opening wings, or S-foils. What I like to do is take my 2 hands, grab the thrusters, spread them apart. You actually hear a little click. Listen. That locks it in place, and this is not going anywhere, which is pretty cool. And you can see how the wing sections separate really uniquely. I think that looks awesome. From the front view. Now the wings themselves might be a little too thick, but for the purpose of this particular vessel and model for Hot Wheels, I think it looks quite well. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Really neat looking. And you can see there is detailing in here. We'll take a look at that in just a few. But all in all, pretty nice looking ship. And then to close it, you'll hear a click when you lock them into position. That's pretty sharp. Nice. Wow, that's awesome. I love the moving parts on here. So that does it for all the major sections. So now let's get a closer look and see that beautiful detail. Alright, having a closer look, we'll begin looking at the main fuselage, and then we'll move on to the engines and wing sections. So beginning on the ventral section, we have our nose cone, which is a harder rubber, so it does move, probably for safety reasons, but it is molded very well, as you can see. Looking sharp. We have that little divot right there. and a little piece from the molding process. But very nice. Coming down the main shaft here, we can see some line work, a rivet, some numbers or copyright crap. Here we have our socket for our stand. Right here, this section should be like storage, which is kind of neat. Another rivet and more panel lines. Looking pretty good. I think this came out great for the bottom. And it's not flat. You can see it does have some angles and slight curves, which is nice. Pretty cool. For the sides of the craft, you can see some great line work and some raised sections, which looks very cool. I love the detail in here. Again, we have our missile launchers on the sides, or torpedo launchers. Looking good. Love the line work on here. And to be honest, at first you think there's not a lot going on here, but then you zoom in like I am and just look at it, and it looks fantastic. I love the line work coming to the aft right here. Very nice. On the canopy, you can see the windows are slightly recessed in, which is great. The paint looks like it's pretty spot on. Very nice. The molding looks great as well. For the other side, again, looking really cool. There we go. There's our torpedo launcher, our canopy, and the line work goes all the way to the aft. Very nice. Now for the S-foil section, we have our droid right here, and I believe that is supposed to be BB-8. So very cool, very basic, but the molding is there, so pretty sharp. We have all our little components back here, and then it's very streamlined, as you can tell. Compared to the more industrial look of the T-65, this is like a Batmobile. Everything is smooth and organized. Here we have our S-foils again, looking very sharp. All the little doodads in there. If I turn it to the side, it is all recessed in and it's sort of protruding out, which is nice. Lots of detail in here, which is pretty cool. Coming to the wings, we'll look at the bottoms. We can see our engines, which look fantastic. I love the detail on here. Now in the aft, right here on the thruster, you can see that the detail is sort of painted over, and just like other Hot Wheels, the paint sort of rounds off all those slight details and sort of erases them. But as you can see at the top, they are there. It's just hard to make them out on the bottom. But really cool. And both wings are the same, so we're just gonna cut the time in half and only deal with one for the most part. But you can see some great detail in here. We have panel lines going all the way to the laser cannons, which look fantastic. Very nice. For the aft, it's very flat, but you can see there are recesses inside of the thrusters. They do go down a little bit, which is really cool. I like that quite a bit. And for the front, probably one of my favorite parts, we have our intakes, which looks like fans, and that looks fantastic. I think they did a beautiful job with that. Really cool. And you can see it's sort of like a lemon slice or orange slice, and they do have right here where my fingernail is sort of a shape within a shape, which is sunken in right there or recessed in. So I really dig that. Then the rest of the wing is flat in the front. And then when we get to the top here, you can see there is nice panel lines, little recesses going around, little doodads here, and more line work, which looks fantastic. Very nice. Coming to the thruster right here, you can see there is some detailing. We have pipes and little raised sections. that go all the way around, which looks really good. And then, like I already showed you, we have our thruster, which looks very sharp. Now before we get to the laser cannons, let's open this bad boy up and we'll look inside of the engine. So let me get a good shot and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is a very small spot and it's a very dark ship. So you know me with the light and with darker vessels, so hopefully everybody can see this. We do have a rivet right here, and then some exquisite detailing. You can see all the little hoses and pipes, and then the whole engine section inside of there, which looks amazing. You can see some R's in there for right hand side, so it's pretty cool. So nice, lots of details. Now hopefully I could get a nice shot of the top. And you can see all the detailing in there. Another rivet, just beautiful. I love all the added details. They didn't even need to do any of this, but I'm glad they, fit it in where they could. Really nice. Let me see if I could turn it this way. There you go. Hopefully you guys could see it better now. But fantastic. Nice recesses, hoses, pipes. Pretty nice. And the other side is the same. There's no differences whatsoever between the top and the bottoms. They're pretty much mirrored. All in all, a fantastic looking vessel, very detailed. So let's take a look at these cannons now. So really cool. I think that came out excellent. Now for the laser cannons, you can see right here in the back, little hair attached to that. Weird. Anyway, in the back, we have this beautiful mold in here, which looks fantastic. And then we have our connector piece and barrel. And this looks amazing. Lots of details in here. And at first, you don't think it does, just by looking at it from a distance. But it has a lot going on, which is really cool. You know, it's nice to see some added details where you don't expect them to be. But fantastic. And that's the same for the bottom cannon. You see, it's almost the same exact mold, just a different connector point, which is very nice. And we have our barrel. Really cool. And like I mentioned, both sides of the ship are very, very similar. So I'm not going to go over the whole ship for 10 minutes for the same exact details. You can see how the paint's sort of rounding everything off there. But really cool nonetheless. I think it came out really cool. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. And that's everything I have to say about the mold. I tried to go over this with a fine-tooth comb very quickly and efficiently, so hopefully all my shots came out good. I normally have a problem reviewing darker colored ships, so hopefully all those fine details were able to really pop on screen for all of you. So that does it for the mold, so now let's talk about the paint. And now looking at the paint, this bad boy has about 5 different colors on there. We have some glossy black for the canopy windows, light gray, orange, and silver for the main different paint around the vessel, which I think is all fantastic. And then we have the main color. Many people say it's black or matte black, but it's really not. It sort of reminds me of the first order vessels that we got from the 3-inch line that had black, but it was mixed with a maroon or a very dark brown or charcoal color, and it made it look a little off. And this paint is the same way. It definitely has like a dark, very dark chocolate brown mixed with black or charcoal, and it gives it a very unique look, which I think works for the model. Now, it may not be a pure black of any sort, but I do think it still looks good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. So that's everything I have to say about the mold as well as the paint. So now let's put this bad boy on a stand, compare it to some other pieces, and then we'll conclude the video. And just like other Hot Wheels vessels, we do get a cool stand. Now this is the base plate, and you can see it's nice and glossy, looking sharp. We have silver paint for the Resistance insignia, and the title of the vessel, which looks very sharp. Then engraved, we have Star Wars and Hot Wheels, looking cool. On the back, we have copyright crap. So what you do is you take your base plate, take your pylon, put it in like so, hear that click. Then grab your vessel and put the ball into the socket right here. You heard a little thud there. And now you can rotate this, which looks really cool. Put it sideways. Basically do anything you would like to pose it on your shelf. And just like that, everybody, you are good to go. For a size comparison with the Hot Wheels Star Wars Starships Select Resistance X-Wing seen in the center, I have it next to some other Starships Select vehicles. First, on the right hand side, we have the First Order TIE Fighter, which is very big and it looks amazing. And then on the left hand side, we have Red 5, the original T-65 X-Wing starfighter from the original trilogy. All in all, I'm very happy with all of these ships. And for an added bonus size comparison with the Starship Select Resistance X-Wing seen in the center, first on the left hand side, we have a 3-inch Millennium Falcon from the sequel trilogy from the Hot Wheels Starships main line. And finally, on the right hand side, we have the Micro Galaxy Squadron Obi-Wan's Jedi Interceptor, which this is a fantastic piece. I could go on and on about it, and I know all of you want me to start reviewing the Micro Galaxy Squadron ships ASAP. Lots of cool stuff coming, guys, trust me. But all of these vessels are cool in their own way. If you're interested in seeing reviews of any of the ships you've seen today, check the links in the description below. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars Starships Select Resistance X-Wing Fighter, released in 2023. What a mouthful. Okay, so what have we learned in this video? For the mold, it isn't bad at all. I think they did a fantastic job. We had panel lines, some great detailing in the insides and outside of the ship. Great stuff. I really like how they molded the astromech in the back. BB-8 or an R2 unit. It's not really super defined, but it works. We have our S-foils, the cockpit, nose cone, everything's there that should be. If I had to nitpick with a gun to my head, I would say that the weakest part of this vessel would probably be the laser cannons. They are a softer material, and, you know, depending on how you store it, they could be acceptable to warping. So just keep an eye out for that. Besides that, though, great mold. For the paint, we have 5 colors working together. I love the orange, gray, and silver. I think they really pop on here and make the ship look very unique. When it comes to the main color, many people think it's just matte black or black. It's not. It has that weird Hot Wheels black color that the First Order ships had for the original 3-inch line, where they were like, what's the word I'm looking for? A black mixed with a maroon. This is similar. When you get close and you shine light at it, it sort of looks like a super dark brown, almost like a dark chocolate, mixed with charcoal or black. Some sort of brown, black, or gray mixture. And, you know, it looks cool. I'm not going to knock it, but it's not exactly matte black or black like it was in the films. Having said that, though, the paint is exquisite. I really do enjoy it quite a bit. And finally, just like every other Hot Wheels ship, it does come with a great looking stand. I love the glossy black, the silver insignia, and title of the vessel. To me, it's very collector friendly, it looks professional, and I dig it. The only problem I have with the whole entire line, however, is the ball joint connector for the ship to the stand. I get it, it's a great idea. You can move the ship and turn it, twist it, you know, pose it on your shelf if you will. But today, before I filmed this, one of my ships fell off the shelf because of a faulty stand right here. And look at that. Look at this. It just falls towards the white backdrop here. There's just nothing holding it anymore. And I don't play with these. I don't manhandle them and go pew 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 pew. You know, I review them and then I put them on my shelf to admire. But I guess when I was moving around today, it tilted to one side quick, and it ended up falling off my little, I guess, entertainment center here. So just keep an eye out for that. I wouldn't put these too high. I know a lot of you out there don't have issues, but out of all of the collection, I think it's 15 altogether now, or 14. The TIE Fighter, the Imperial one, and the Razor Crest are the only ones that are giving me some trouble with the weak stands. Everything else is okay, but that's my little PSA for all of you out there. So I think I talked long enough. That's everything I have to say about this cool looking ship today. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. And if you'd like to see new videos every week, subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your hectic schedules to watch my content. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, everybody!